You know it's super fly when Day Bar is opened. Hip-hop review, news, plus breaking new artists, pop culture, current events with an urban view of it. This is all things hip-hop, delivered raw, unpolitically correct, the fans' perspective, putting all artists in check. Dope content, current hot by remarkable men. Our thoughts, clearly. Welcome to Audio Theory.
Yo, welcome back to the Audio Theory podcast. If you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe as well as the like button. What's good, Danny? How have you been? What's life like these days?
Dude, wide open. We're gonna get into the pit, but life is wide open in Florida, bro. Like my boy, you met Billy's in town, super excited about that. Had him over the place, show him around. We had a Sunday fun day yesterday, which was too much fun, bro. Like, oh my God, like, fam, I think I slept. Yo, it was too lit. Like, yo, I was home by 7, asleep by 7:30, woke up at 8 a.m. today. Like, I just fucking like.
Nice. Is that like the mimosas, or what'd you have that put you
Bro,
out?
so it's funny, man, to like, it's funny how like we get adults, but like, legit, like I think like I need my girlfriend and I to like just sit down before we and just say, hey, listen, we're gonna drink, but we're also gonna eat, and we're also gonna drink water. And like, it's sad that a 32-year-old man needs to have this conversation, but bro, I need to have this conversation. So we were doing so well, dude. We had unlimited mimosas for brunch. Dude, everything's fine, bro. Then we go, it's called the Wharf, which is like it's an open space, like 4 different bars in one area. And like there, like for whatever reason, we just stopped drinking water. Like just the water drinking stops. It's just like drinks. And then it's like, oh my God, we are so fucked up right now. Like it was just, it went from 0 to 100 real quick. But yeah, man, it's just, things are so fucking wide open here. It's wild, bro. We'll get into like what's happening by my girl's place, but like, yeah, like Billy just came back from California. He lives in the Bay, as I told you. And he's like, bro, what the fuck is this? Like what is this, bro? There's like no social distancing really. Like it's pretty insane, bro. But again, it's beneficial for us because again, the weather's nice. And like, dude, the idea of like being in home after like what, it's almost been exactly a year since COVID really started. Like at least like, you know, the planning of like things to do is still happening without the idea of like, oh no, we can't do it because of COVID. So.
Yeah, dope. How
about you,
crazy,
man? How's the go ahead, sorry.
Oh no, I was gonna say it's wild to me how day drinking, at least for me, always knocks me out. But drinking at night, it's like I can go forever. There's something about being out in the sun or something.
It's something about the champagne for me though, or the prosecco.
Yeah,
like that. I don't know if there's more in it, but bro, that just knocks me on my ass, bro. Like like those mimosas really like kicked in later. And I was just like, bro, I'm just so tired, bro. Like, I'm not even drunk. Like, I'm just tired, you know? But I was drunk. I'm lying. But I'm just like, really... How about you, though, bro? How's the, you move next week, right?
Yeah, next weekend. So, like, 10 days from now.
Okay, dope.
So, this past weekend, my fiance now, she doesn't even like that word. Like, just the word itself, she hates.
Really?
So, she's just like, I'm going to call you husband. Like... Even though we're not,
I mean, which is fine, bro. Once
you
give them the ring, like it's over, you know?
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe it's because it's like a word that indicates that you're like in relationship limbo, like you're waiting on some shit. I don't know. But anyways, this past weekend I just went up to stay at her parents' house for a few days. So we met up with a couple friends here and there as like an engagement / going away dinner.
Nice.
Because this upcoming weekend, we have an engagement / going away party. Some people can't make it, or for whatever reason, or for different reasons can't come because of COVID safety. Like they live with someone who's at risk or whatever. So we have that this upcoming weekend. So at this point, just really gearing up for my move, saying bye to people, essentially, and it's pretty much it. Just enjoy my last few days in LA before I move out to the Bay, even though it's not that far away.
Not that far, but how's mom adjusted to the idea? Because obviously she's so used to having you like so close by.
Honestly, I don't think she's I don't want to say she doesn't care, but I mean, I went away to Dartmouth on the East Coast for college, so and all my brothers for the most part went away for college, so I think at this point she's used to kind of like an empty nest, so to speak. And yeah, I think the fact that the Bay isn't super far and I still plan to visit every couple months, like, isn't too much of a thing. I think she raised 5 boys, so she's so exhausted, like cleaning up after us and being loud and shit. So it's not as concerning, I guess you could say.
Sure, fair enough, man. Yeah. Well, again, that's exciting. So how was the engagement party? Did you do the whole thing? Because last Friday I asked you, did you like call her dad and like ask him for like her hand, or like how did that process go?
Yeah, I called her dad and her mom the same night. I was dreading it. I was like, this shit is gonna be mad awkward. I knew they were gonna be fine with it ultimately, because I mean, I've known them for so long. I've known her for so long.
Almost a decade, yeah.
Yeah, they've obviously asked her about marriage and stuff, so like it was just a matter of when, not if. But
sure,
it was still awkward as hell. And for those who don't know, her parents are Korean, and Korean's their first language, so we didn't like go into a deep conversation when I asked for her hand, and he was just kind of like, yeah, okay, like cool,
yeah,
like just make sure she's happy, and like the conversation basically ended there.
Sure.
So it was mad awkward. I think it's awkward for anyone. Her mom was, I'd say, a little more animated. She was like, oh my god, like so happy for you guys, and everything. So I was just glad I got that part out of the way. I was more nervous about that than actually presenting the ring.
Proposing? Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously it went fine. They don't hate me as far as I can tell. So
and you got the blessings, right? So
yeah, I got the blessings. So yep,
awesome,
it all worked
bro.
out.
Super excited for you. Congrats again. And
Appreciate
then we also had some fun news. So like my dad, not really being tech savvy. So I sent my dad the link to the Be Alright reaction video, like when it dropped. And he was like, oh, but I also sent him like pictures of my trip right below it. So I think he just only saw the pictures. It was like, and he's like, you look great. And I'm like, motherfucker, like I sent you a video. So I'm like, bro, but just like, let's see if he finds it eventually. Then I called him like 4 days later. I'm like, yo, did you see the video? He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, oh my God, Pa, I sent you a video that my boy did that's like, I want you to listen to. And I tried not to give him like too much context, and then he like listened to it on Friday. And then that was, so for listeners, like I shared Blair a voicemail that my dad left me talking about the song. Obviously, my dad doesn't have Instagram or anything, so he never saw that post I made with like my mom's voice note. So that was the first time he's heard my mom's voice since she passed. So bro, it was
wow.
It was amazing, bro, to have that reaction from him, which was unique. And I'm grateful that I missed his call by mistake, but it was
so that
nice
the voicemail
to be able
would be there.
Yeah, that was dope.
Sick.
So again, that's great. Thanks to you. He said obviously nothing but nice things to say about you, and again, just it's the keeps giving right now.
Yeah, no, thank you for sharing. Still, I'm amazed that something I created was able to touch many different people. I know like that's kind of the goal of any artist, really, is like have people appreciate it, but like I never thought I would do something at this level, and obviously didn't expect things to happen to my brother or your mother or my friend's dad. I was always like, I'll just make music that sounds good and hopefully people like it, whereas now it's like there's more of a obvious purpose with this one. So just glad that people were able to appreciate it, and it's nice to know that it had that impact.
For sure. And are you getting the engagement that you were? I mean, I guess we made it you made it very clear you weren't really looking for like the outpouring of whatever, but like, have you seen some kind of engagement from like outside of the families affected by this song thus far?
Not, I mean, to a degree. Like I've had friends I don't really keep in touch with too much who've like reposted it or randomly messaged me and was like, oh, I heard this song, like it was very deep. Or like one childhood friend of my brother who I actually know, I guess stumbled upon my page like a few days ago, and he knew my brother Rasan, and he said like he shed some tears listening to it. So here and there, like somebody will surprise me and stumble across the song. I mean, it hasn't like gone viral or had any crazy comments or anything. It's not really, I mean, it wasn't the intention. Obviously, if it did do that, it would be awesome. More so, like in honor of them. But yeah, for now, kind of just letting it be. I think we plan to play it at my brother's memorial. I don't know if we have a date set in stone. My mom's kind of overseeing the whole thing, but
sure,
that'll be like another cool moment. Hopefully I don't have to perform it because I don't want to like choke up and look like an idiot. So
sure.
I'd rather just.
But again, we've been talking about like in some of our interviews. I feel like you'll whatever you need to do to get out from that moment. I'm sure you'll figure it out.
For sure, yeah. So we'll see what happens. I actually do have another song I recorded that I'll release in like 3 weeks. So that's kind of like the only progression I have in mind from now. And I plan to try to release a new song like once a month at a minimum for the rest of the year. So I guess like just even like leaning on the interviews we've been doing on the Audio Theory interview series. We just had our third interview wrap up today. Artist by the name of Angel Carrero wears many different hats that we dropping this week. So look out for that. But kind of like in those interviews, we've asked them like, what's the sound you're looking for, right? He mentioned how he's wanting to go to like a more party sound later on because his stuff right now is more like trap soul, really. So how about you, man? Like obviously you had like highs and lows, and you had Be Alright. So like right now, like do you feel like whatever comes to you is what you're putting out, or is there like a very conscious effort, like I want the next few songs to sound like this? That's a good question. I mean, for me, it really depends on the beat. Like some of them hit me and I'm like, I can't really do like the melodic thing on this beat because it just wouldn't sound right. So
sure,
that's one factor. But I definitely, so the next one I'm putting out, it has more of like a darker trap, Travis Scott-esque vibe to it.
Okay.
But moving forward, like a couple of the ones I've recorded have been more upbeat. One, you could say like, I don't know, I for some reason think of like Mac Miller or somebody on that one. I'm really excited about that. I think it might lyrically one of the ones I'm more proud of.
Nice.
And then I think I do want more like upbeat stuff moving forward. Wouldn't necessarily say party stuff, but stuff you could like listen to in the gym or like bump in the car. So they're not like club bangers, shake your ass type tracks per se, but hard hitting stuff that like just makes you feel good and could be performed at a concert or something and get everybody out of their seats. So that's kind of my goal is to do more stuff like that. And that's just what I'm attracted to. I like the melodic stuff. So also hoping to like get better vocally for myself, since I'm not like, I think I do have a decent singing voice, but it's not like, it's definitely not comparable to like Bryson Tiller or something.
Sure. Yeah.
So
I mean those things all come over time, right? So
yeah.
Nice, dude. That's exciting. So I'm excited for the people to hear more of that. You said you're gonna drop that next song like in a couple weeks?
Yep, in a couple weeks. So you'll see that on my Blair Anthony music page. I'll post like a little teaser for everybody.
Awesome. Very exciting, man. So let's get into the episode then. Because we just finished recording our interview. So these fucking nights are getting longer and longer.
Yeah.
And it's like dope how like we do literally, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Like, so again, like I had Sunday fun day yesterday. So you tell me how you feel today. But like, I was blah the entire fucking day, bro. I went to the gym. That usually gets me back up, and I'm like, bro, I still have nothing. And then like literally like an hour before we start recording, I'm like, yo, I feel amazing. I'm ready to go. It's like, yo, where was the energy for your actual job, motherfucker? Like, you know what I mean? So, like,
yeah, that's how I felt this morning. And I was worried that during the interview and even this episode, I was going to be pretty much dead. But I don't know. I just got excited. I was running errands and doing other shit I'm not excited to do. So
sure.
I think that's just probably why.
Yeah, that corner, but it's so accurate, bro. Like if you actually enjoy what you're doing, it never feels like actual work. So I guess we're definitely in that mode right now. So definitely ride that wave. But I guess like not to get kind of depressing, but I know there's something that close to your heart that I kind of want to lead the episode off with, bro. Like obviously you're marrying an Asian woman. Like, yo, seeing all these crazy hate crimes, a lot of it being in California, right? From what I've seen online, at least. Like, yo, how does that like hit home for you, bro? Because God forbid, but like, yo, this could be someone that like, you know, is a relative of yours. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it definitely hitting you a different way than it's hitting me. You know, like obviously I hate it because like that's disgusting and racist. But like, how is it? You know, your thoughts on the overall, you know, attacks on Asians right now, and like how is it making you feel as a person who's like, that's literally your family members who could be, you know, receiving these fucking threats?
Yeah, I think I've definitely become more defensive. As you know, we're moving to San Francisco, and our offices haven't opened up, but I mean, she's always talked about like, oh, we can walk to work together and this and that. And I'm just kind of in the back of my mind, I'm like, even though a lot of these attacks are on like elderly, defenseless people, I pray that nobody tries that on her and with me around too, because I'm like, part of me is like, I'm not trying to go do life in prison because some dude, you know, runs up on her and tries to punch her or some shit, because I feel like I'll just black out and go crazy. But part of me is like not surprised, just because people have been ever since COVID happened and they had those viral images of people in China eating bats and shit, like the Asian slander already began taking place, and people were staring weird at Asians because they're like, oh, it came from China. So if you looked remotely Asian, people were like, oh, did this motherfucker just come from Wuhan? Like, do I need to stay 30 feet away from him, etc.? And I think now it's obviously blown up to a bigger level. On the bright side, I think it's dope to see like minorities band together in the face of hate. I know in ways it's concerning, just because some of the video footage I've seen have been like black individuals attacking Asians. And I've even seen some Asians be saying like, you know, how can we defend BLM when, you know, this black dude did this or said this? So that's the concerning thing, is, you know, with all the unity that might take place, there's a lot of like interracial conflict outside of just white people and Asians. But for the first time, I feel like Asians as a minority are no longer silenced. For the longest time, you know, societies in America at least has always seen them as, you know, the goody two-shoe minority that just does their shit. You know, they're doing their thing, and the model minority. And for that reason too, people didn't really defend them, because they're like, oh, a lot of them are well off and you know, in their own space, so like racism doesn't really affect them. You know, they're good at math, haha. But
like
now
the most
it's
like subtle racist shit ever, right?
Yeah. And now I think people are realizing that's not the case. And with Asians in particular, I realized society again in the US has failed to ever consider them true Americans, just because of the language and the fact that they physically look different from like the standard quote unquote American or white American or whatever. So it's a lot easier to kind of pin them as the outsider, and now people are aware that, you know, racism against Asians is real. Unfortunately, with all the fake news, unfortunately a lot of people don't believe the news and media, so they don't even think this shit that's happening now is real, or it's like blown out of proportion, like the shootings at the masseuse place. They're like, oh, it wasn't a hate crime, even though like everyone pretty much who died was Asian. They're like, oh, it just happened to be a bunch of Asians because he went to. Dude,
the wild thing about like the cop who like the I think the chief or whatever was like, oh, the guy just had a bad day. Like, what the fuck? Like, yeah. Like, in what other situation would that ever be even like a comment out of like a police officer's mouth? You know?
Right. And I don't know, like when I hear shit like that, I genuinely sometimes think I'm in a simulation or some shit, because I have to believe that he did that on purpose to like piss people off. It just boggles my mind that a human being that inconsiderate could possibly exist.
It's terrifying. It's terrifying. So again, being closer to it, both like physically, like again, I think a lot of these are happening like in San Francisco, if I'm wrong, or at least the big
New York,
ones.
I think.
New York, okay. Obviously, there was a big one in Atlanta. But do you think like the majority, like what percentage would you say is because of like, you think like that narrative of like all like the COVID stuff is Asian related, and that's like it, or has this stuff already been happening for a while and it's just coming to light now?
I think it's mostly because of COVID, but I know that tension has kind of existed, at least in the Black community, just because a lot of like Asian business owners will be in those communities, like liquor stores and laundromats and shit. And I know every now and then there's just tension between them, especially like during the LA riots, like with the quote unquote rooftop Koreans that were defending their businesses. A lot of, I think, African Americans and Hispanics have targeted some of those businesses and kind of like didn't appreciate them being there. So I feel like that tension has kind of always exist, but COVID definitely allowed that hate to fester and become bigger because they're like, oh, I don't have a job because of you, like you bat eaters and this and that, all this.
It's almost like another reason to hate. Even though there was like maybe like low, like festering resentment for years now, and it was like another thing they can like use to their defense, right?
Just like with the looting that took place, like another reason to be like, look at all the Negroes doing this and that, when it's like just a handful of like stupid teenagers, like just people looking for evidence to confirm the beliefs they already have. Yeah,
I agree, man. Yeah, it's wild, dude. Like just seeing on TV, bro. It's just like some of the images of like just like dude, like 70-year-old women just being fucking knocked out. It's like, bro, what? Yeah, like, it's just scary, bro. It's just scary to like you said, like to think that there's like that kind of hate out there is wild.
Yeah, it's and it's not even like, you know, the person was provoked, which I think makes it terrifying. It's not like, you know, you're talking shit and things escalate and then you want to knock this person out. It's like this old person literally minding their business and then you just want to knock them out cold and run away. It's just, I mean, obviously it's cowardly, but it's just straight up evil, like demonic.
Yeah. And I think it's again, it's just it's to hear it from like other people is fine, but like because the way everything is now, like you're seeing the footage of it, it's just like and seeing it is just like it's like I guess I have to believe it, but it's like you almost like wish you didn't, like that was like unbelievable. It's like, bro, no, there's no way that's happening. Why would that ever happen? And you see it, it's like, fuck, man, okay. So yeah, man. So yeah, dude, hopefully stuff like this ends soon. Hopefully, like, you know, a lot of people, like, I mean, it sucks that celebrities need to get involved for things to like make a change, right? But hopefully a lot of people who, like, these people who are doing these terrible hate crimes respect and admire, having those people come out, hopefully that can even let them, like, you know, just chill, bro. Like we're all the fucking same and we have way bigger problems than knocking out a lady that comes from a certain part of the world, you know, like.
And it's weird because it's almost like you can't, nowadays people don't want you to bring up racism at all because they think it makes everything divisive. But I don't know how you can stop it if you don't bring it up. I mean, it's not, you don't have to bring it up in every single conversation or instance, but I know there's people out there that are frustrated with the Stop Asian Hate movement now because they think it's just, you know, Biden or the elites trying to make Americans hate each other. And it's like, dude, this guy got sliced neck to neck on the subway because he was Asian, and you want to pretend like that was just you know, some isolated incident when it happened like hundreds of times. It's just crazy to me how people think.
Yeah, like there could be a narrative, but also that you have to be able to identify, like, yo, this is wrong. So fuck whatever side of this you fall on, like this specific thing is like wrong. Yeah.
The only time I do kind of cringe is when, you know, these corporations will like jump on the bandwagon and like make all these last minute changes to avoid bad press. That's the only time where I'm like, you motherfuckers don't believe this shit.
Yeah, like when Amazon's like entire like front page is like Black Lives Matter, and it's like, what are we doing? Extra free shipping to certain neighborhoods, bro? Like, what are we like? What are you doing?
Or like any item with the word Oriental in it, all of a sudden is offensive to them, and now they remove it from all of Amazon. Like, I hate when that last minute shit happens. It's like, you guys don't think about it until it hurts you financially.
Right. And also, like, they also don't, and then sometimes the real issue gets like diluted. It's like, dude, no one's, okay, fine, people may be getting offended by certain like products, but the real issue is people getting fucking killed in the streets for no fucking reason.
Right.
Let's put money behind, how can we stop that?
Right. And I hope it doesn't get to a point where, like, I don't know, I can't wear a fucking Dragon Ball Z t-shirt or some shit because now I'm appropriating. Like, that's when I think the racial stuff goes too far, like the Aunt Jemima and all that shit. I'm like, now we're just way far off. Now we're looking
exactly, dude. That was exactly why when you were talking, that's exactly what I was saying. Like, bro, like, was anyone truly offended enough that we needed to change the syrup? Like, I think we had bigger fucking issues to worry about than changing a fucking syrup name.
Yeah. So hopefully this time around the focus is on stopping people from dying and getting slashed and whatever else versus, you know, being able to wear a Goku costume for Halloween.
Right, because like that's not the issue right now. But yeah, man, and like obviously not to stay like on a somewhat somber note. I mean, it's maybe somber, but like, dude, it's so again, living in South Florida, bro, Miami Beach is wild right now, fam. Like crazy, dude. So I got to see it firsthand because luckily, I mean, I don't know about luckily, but like my girlfriend lives down there in the residential area. So we literally had dinner on the corner of Washington and like 8th, I think. And like we saw all the cops setting up. And bro, there's news team out there. And like we're eating pizza and I'm like, yo, I don't think we should be here, but let's watch it. You know what I mean? Like, cause it just like to see the fucking debacle firsthand. And bro, it's so bad that the Clevelander, which is a very popular Miami destination, has an outdoor bar. They shut down the bar for the rest of the month on their own because they said they didn't feel safe for their fucking employees. Miami-Dade put a curfew on Miami Beach at 8 o'clock, bro. It's like all the major restaurants and nightclubs, everything has to be shut by 8 and for the rest of the month until they say the spring break crowd goes home. But bro, I really don't think this is the spring break crowd. I just think that, dude, there's only a few places to go in the world right now. If you live in America, it's either Florida, Texas, or fucking Cancun. And like the easiest thing is to go to Miami because you remember enough names of when you went in the past. So, and again, a lot of people just got $1,400 checks. So they have money to spend now and they want to spend some money. So like, I don't know if this curfew resolves it, but bro, just seeing the footage firsthand, being there, like, bro, it's disgusting. Like, it is disgusting, bro. Like, and what sucks is that the majority of the people doing this shit, like losing their minds, look like us. And like, that's my thing. Like, I don't know if enough people are talking about, but bro, it's a bad look for everyone involved. Yeah. But it just sucks that what I'm seeing, at least, and again, I'm not going off what the media's showing, bro. I was there. Like, I was there. Like, like I saw it. Like, everyone losing their mind looks like us. And I'm just like, come on, bro. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. That's always a concerning thing for me because I'm like, the first thing that comes to mind when I see that imagery is like, this is ammo for racist white people or racist anybody against blacks or brown people. This is ammo for them to be like, look, they're at it again. They're acting the fool. They're, you know, being ghetto or whatever term they want to use, ignorant. And it's just unfortunate. And I just don't understand how the fuck this even happens. Cause I looked at the video, it was like 40 wrestling matches happening at once. I'm like, how do you even get angry with that many people at once?
Bro, I have no idea, dude. And it's like, yeah, they're not even fighting cops, bro. They're fighting each other. It's like, like, what were you even mad at, bro? Yeah. But yeah, dude, it's fucking insane. It is insane. And it's just like, dude, Miami has had a curfew since COVID at 12 o'clock always. And then I don't know if they're mad at that. Like, I don't even know what they're mad at. That's my thing. Like, I don't know what they're mad at, but like, yo, it's fucking insane, bro. Like, it is. Like, people like I think one of the issues where like people like are just going to restaurants, acting a fool, and just like starting an argument with the servers, and then like refusing to pay their tabs and just leaving. Which is like, dude, where would you think that's okay anywhere? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's really hard to pinpoint exactly what triggered this, but again, like just the annoying part, and again, and what helps, like you said, like, all right, so sorry about that. We had some technical issues. I guess all those riots down in Miami is affecting my service down here at Coconut Creek, but we're good. We're back. Yeah, man. So a lot of crazy shit happening in the world. Let's get to some music, the shit that we know best, and obviously give people some updates on what's going out there. I thought it was pretty cool, man. Honestly, just from a music standpoint, Cardi B taking the #1 spot from Drake. I know we were talking about last week, it was cool as Drake had that moment to go 1, 2, and 3, but pretty wild that if you look at some of the accomplishments that Cardi B is racking up in her very short hip hop career, for a female artist, that's definitely a good look for her. I think a lot of people were concerned that, you know, she couldn't really follow up what Bodak Yellow and all that album did. So the fact that her first real release for her new album is the #1 album and the #1 song in the country, pretty fucking wild.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's dope. I feel like, I mean, her music obviously is good if we're talking musically. I know some people hate the content itself. In terms of the sound, I think it's up there in terms of quality. And I think a lot of it does have to do with her personality. Like, I know some people know who Cardi B is. They love her personality, but they probably couldn't name more than like 2 songs, maybe even not even 1.
Yeah, but they fuck with her, right? They just like something like they're supporting like their best friend or something.
Yeah, like you would, if you didn't know about her and she was at Coachella, like you probably would be interested to see what her performance is like. I feel like she's that kind of artist. But how do you feel about, because I don't know if you're familiar with Candace Owens. They've kind of been going back and forth on Twitter. Like, of course, you know, the conservatives hate Cardi B and think she's teaching, you know, young girls to be a hoe and do all this shit. So how do you feel like about, I know we talked about the Grammy performance, but just about her making that sort of music and achieving these milestones and being that big of an artist and influence?
Yeah, so I think what the Candace Owens and that side of the right, essentially, right, is the people who are hating on her per se. I think we shared offline like a woman doing like a first time reaction to the Grammy performance and like being like so offended she's crying and shit, right? Yeah. Dude, I really think it's helping Cardi B short term and long term. Dude, I'm not mad that she's doing these numbers, making that kind of music, because like, bro, like that means that people like this shit. You know what I mean? Like, how can you get mad at something if like it's literally consumer driven? If consumers didn't like what she was doing, then her numbers wouldn't be this, and they wouldn't be the #1 song in the country. You know what I mean? So like, I can get mad at it being for #1. Like, if this is what people fucking like, then it is what it is. So, and it's just wild. Like, again, I hate when they try to put so much like this PC culture and woke culture and like, no, this is not okay, like for our children. Then don't have your fucking children watch this. Then exactly, it's that fucking simple, bro. Like the whole like Eminem thing like 20 years ago or 15 years ago when we were kids. It's like, our kids can't listen to this music. Then don't have them listen to it. Like, be a better fucking parent. Like, it's not on the artist to be the fucking role model for your children. You be the fucking role model. Like, if your kids are looking for that as a role model, then you're already failing as a parent to a certain extent. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Well, I think that's great advice. And I was contemplating that in the car the other day. I was just like, I mean, I see where they're coming from and like how you wouldn't want your 5-year-old to watch it. But then I was like, the solution is pretty simple. Just don't have them watch it, or if you know they're going to end up watching it, like educate them on, you know, why they shouldn't be repeating the lyrics, or, you know, why they should practice safe sex, or whatever subject you want to, or discussion you wanted to transition to with them. So yeah, again, like Cardi B, this is her personality, this is her story or whatever, her interest, and if she wants to make a song about it, then so be it. And let's be realistic, like people in their own bedroom talk about half the shit that's on the song. And I think a lot of people just want to be self-righteous and act like, you know, they're the purest, cleanest person in the bedroom. It's like they're not using profanity or on text, sexting like profane shit and sending nudes and stuff. Like when it's on TV, we want to act like we're these innocent creatures that never seen a fucking pair of genitals before. But in the bedroom, then it's all out the window. You have all these politicians fucking doing nastier things than probably Cardi B has ever done. But
if they just checked all of our Google searches, there would be a completely different conversation.
For sure. Yeah. So that's why, like, for me personally, I can't like knock her for a song like that, because I know plenty of people who've said worse things probably. And I'm not even disturbed by it. It's just the way people talk. It just so happens it's on TV, so you get a little uncomfortable seeing them scissor and make out and whatever else the case is.
Yeah, but again, I feel like the easy they keep saying is, oh, the kids, bro. Then, get your kids off TikTok, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you, bro. Like, you just figure it out yourself. It's just like, it's like everybody else people want everyone else to solve their problems for them, as opposed to like actually just going and like, yo, you can solve this yourself. Your kids can never watch Cardi B song ever. Because it's funny, like we were watching just over the summer, bro, like just trying to kill time when I was visiting New Jersey. Like we would put like just YouTube videos on, right? Let's jam out, let's put some fucking Drake songs on, Little Baby, and vibe out. My uncle put parameters though during certain hours of the day on YouTube, so his granddaughter, my niece, doesn't watch certain things. So like, I'm Googling, I'm YouTubing, like, yo, I want this Drake video, and it won't pop up. I'm just like, oh, what the fuck's going on? I'm losing my mind. And then he's like, oh, my bad, dude, I put the parameters on so Gabby can't see them, right? So, bro, you can easily fix this. Like, like if you don't want your 8-year-old to see like the fucking WAP video, she can never see it. But you need to fucking do certain things to make that happen.
Exactly. Yeah. I wholeheartedly agree. I think people just want to be lazy parents and have the world be this pure innocent place until they're 18, which is not realistic. Like regardless of if it's music or movies, like there's going to be some adult shit out there, and you just have to take the extra steps to prevent them from stumbling upon it accidentally.
100%. You gotta be better, man. So yeah, shout out to Cardi B for being a fucking it's crazy that she's only been around for 3 or 4 years musically. At least I know people know her before from like Love and Hip Hop and all that stuff, but it's getting pretty astounding, like the accomplishments she's racking up. Now, again, I think we both agreed it's not shit that we're bumping every day, but bro, like I know, like, my housewarming party, like when we're out the other night, like, yo, when It's Up comes on, you can see the mood change and everyone wants to just fucking dance, right? Like even the guys are like, man, I fuck with this.
Yeah.
Because like the girls go crazy, like every girl knows that song. So again, kudos to her, because the accolades are racking up pretty quickly, I should say. And for a new artist to have that many accolades and who wasn't really respected at all when she first came out, it's definitely impressive.
Yeah, agreed, 100%.
For sure. But I know there's something you wanted to bring up in reference to Jack Harlow kind of teasing us. So kind of let the people know what you heard.
Yeah, I forget which interview it was specifically, but Jack Harlow essentially said he has an upcoming collaboration that should be out soon with, and he named several people, so we don't know who it is specifically, but they were Eminem, Andre 3000, Jay-Z, and Drake. And those were like his inspirations he listed as well. He said he's basically like, one of these guys who are my biggest inspirations. I have a track with them coming out soon. So I thought that was pretty crazy, because obviously the ones I just mentioned are basically legends.
Yeah.
Top 5 for like most people, or a lot of people in hip hop. So I just thought it was wild that he kind of just became mainstream towards the latter half of 2020, and now he's already going to work with like a quote unquote GOAT. But I wanted to bring it up to see if you, of those 4 mentioned, do you have a suspicion of who it probably is?
Dude, if I had to guess, out of those 4, and I feel like it's not going to, if I'm being honest, I don't think it's going to be any of those 4. I think it's going to be the other people that probably were mentioned. But of those 4, I would say Eminem. Because I just don't see Andre, Jay, or Drake just, not that like he's not a big enough artist, because that's, Drake works with like up and coming artists all the time. I just don't see like how it would work on a track, kind of. You know what I mean? There's like, I don't see it. Like, I just can't like hear it. What about you?
Personally, I think Drake, only because, one, I feel like Jay-Z and Andre 3000 don't really give people the time of day unless they're like the hottest thing ever, like of the decade.
Or someone just so unique, like a Frank Ocean. And it's like, bro,
like they just have to do this.
Yeah, have to work with you. Yeah.
And Jack Harlow hasn't, in my opinion, had an impact to a point where like Jay-Z would have something to say on a track with him that's like,
yeah, he definitely knows who he is, but it's like, bro, like, yeah, you're not right. Dude, like, the funniest thing is like, dude, 2 Chainz, who's been relevant for the last like 12 years, is still begging for a Jay-Z feature. And he's like, nah, not yet, dog. Not yet.
Well, Eminem, I could see, just because he's done stuff with like the newer guys like Juice WRLD and Joyner and stuff, and he's white. I feel like it's kind of easy to be biased by that, but I still feel like that's I feel like Eminem's style is just so rapidy rap. It's kind of hard to see him do that stuff with people nowadays. So I don't know, but it's a toss up between him and Drake, but I lean towards Drake just because of all of them. I feel like Drake's style is the most similar, like in terms of the flow. And then he already did that track with Lil Wayne. So I'm sure behind the scenes, Drake probably chopped it up or something. So I could see that being a big possibility. So if I had to put money on it, I'd probably say Drake. And because he did the track with Chris Brown, and I consider Chris Brown like a fucking mega star. So
that is true. So as far as like the 7 degrees of separation, right? It's definitely closer to that Young Money, right? Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Well, he did mention several other artists who it could be, right?
I think, I'm not sure. I know that interview, at least those were like the 4 main ones, and from all the articles I've seen, those were like the only 4 that he was focusing on.
Okay.
So I feel like it has to be one of them based on what he was saying.
Yeah. I mean, or could it just be an easy way to go viral again and like have people like waiting to check out your new music? But yeah, dude, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like he's definitely like already past like the up and coming artist mark, right? Because like What's Poppin' was just so big. But bro, I don't know. There's something that like I don't think he's ready for a Drake feature just yet. Like that, I don't know. That's weird, right? That just sounds crazy. Yeah. But I don't know. I just feel like he's at I feel like Drake's Drake's like the smartest artist we've seen in like years, right? He knows exactly like a Little Baby.
When
like
to
he
do
jumped
it.
on like when exactly. He knows when to do it, bro. And I feel like he's past that window of like Drake, because like Drake is not gonna benefit right now. Yeah. Whereas like if Drake put him on with like that first shit that hit and Drake was on it, he benefits. It's like, there's more to say about Drake because he's like, I was on that track, blah, blah, blah. And like right now, he's just like in that in-between stage of his career, really. Jack Harlow is that like, I don't see the benefit for Drake. Whereas with Eminem, again, if we're only listening to those 4, I feel like Eminem is just still reaching to stay relevant in so many ways. Hopping on the new white guy, rapper train may be an easy thing for him just to stay more relevant with people.
Yeah, I can see that. And also I realized like around the What's Poppin' time, Alchemist actually follows Jack Harlow. And I know Alchemist is, I think he's still Eminem's official DJ.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, but I'm sure they probably, Alchemist may have brought Jack Harlow to his attention if it wasn't from What's Poppin'. So maybe they did, the 3 of them linked up and were like, let's make something happen. Who knows?
Yeah, I know White America will go crazy if that collaboration happens. Bro, that number, that's going number 1 for sure. There is nothing stopping that song from going number 1.
For sure. No, that'd be wild.
Yeah. But let's see. So when do we actually find out who's right or wrong?
He made it sound like the shit was right around the corner. So I'd say by the end of April, we should have something. I'm sure he wants to like write out his album and that single with Chris Brown. So I doubt it'll happen within the next few episodes.
All right. So we'll find out who's right or wrong. So you're voting Drake. I'm voting Eminem. But my second vote is going to be none of them. It's going to be
He's just dreaming.
Yeah, he's just like putting out to the universe, but still someone dope. Because like you said, he's gotten Lil Wayne on a feature. I think Jack Harlow has proven that although he may not be your favorite artist, he does have the respect of a lot of artists. Right, he's not just like a gimmicky rapper. Like I think people actually respect him as a rapper. And the fact that Kendrick Lamar put that that video out only just shows that, right?
Yep.
For sure. So this is more like gossipy, bro. I know we don't really talk about gossip, but I feel like this episode has like had some like pretty depressing things. It's only like fun to like mix up a little bit to our own audio theory. So dude, your thoughts on the whole Saweetie leaving Quavo thing? But more so like, bro, like we'll get into like why she left him because I don't give a fuck. But it's just funny to me how like it seems like Complex is like, I don't know, taking her side. But like they keep like posting like all her things that she posted afterwards, and like her statement release, and like she posted like a video for like walking out of like a jet and like looking amazing and like, ooh, big mood, leave your man, like, and I'm like, bro, like, are we taking sides here, bro? Like, are you reporting the news, or are you like on her side? Like your whole thoughts on that of the breakup.
Yeah. I think for me, I was just kind of confused as to what really happened. So Saweetie, and was she the one who allegedly like broke it off and was sleeping around, or was it Quavo?
No,
they both were like, I'm disappointed. And I'm like, well, who's the disappointment here?
So allegedly he was disappointed in how like she's going so public with everything. And then he was, but from everything that I'm seeing on like Complex and like the other like rap stuff, it's that he cheated, he's been cheating, and she had enough and had to leave. And then she came out and saying no amount of money or gifts can ever, mend, the things he did to me, which is true, right? You can't like fucking cheat on her with her sister and then buy her a Birkin bag and like get over it kind of thing, right? But it's just weird to me, like, and that video that she posted, the academics posted from like back in the day, where she's like, get you a man that got this, and I'm like, ugh. I don't know, in hindsight, it just looks like a bit classless, because it's like you're saying you're only with a dude for his money. Yeah. And then a month later he cheats on you and you're like, the money doesn't matter. It's just like, it's kind of weird.
That's where these like public, and a lot of times it's mostly hip hop relationships bother me, is because it's so flashy in your face. I bought him a Lambo, she bought me this shit, and it's just like one-upping each other, and then they break up a year later, and I'm like, you guys did this all for show, basically. Like, and I feel like if entertainers get together, they like should kind of assume that there's a high chance it won't last. They're gonna fuck around, they're hanging around with the same like thoughts and dudes and stuff 24/7. It just confuses me that they agree to be exclusive knowing it's probably not going to work out, and they just cover it up with Lamborghinis and Birkin bags and bullshit and post it to the gram. I'm just confused why they even bother in the first place.
I mean, there has to be a thing. Again, we could be puppets here and know nothing. There could have been like a deal, like, hey, this is going to help out both our careers. This is like, make this work and let's go public with it. And then like, if shit gets bad, it'll be only like no news is bad news kind of thing. But bro, if we're just removing the conspiracy out of it, right? And we're just looking at like these two people were dating, blah, blah, blah. But it's, how would you feel, bro? Like if in like a week, the next rapper is like just doing her, I think we've spoke about this in the past, where like, Amber Rose like fuck everybody hip hop for one sake, and then Kim has been with like a bunch of people, Chloe as well. So how would you feel, bro? Like if fucking Quavo pulls up to the club and then she's there with another dude from like Quality Control or like some fucking like hip hop artist, like how would you feel? Because like it just feels like, I think she already posted today like her like on IG with some other rapper, and it's like, damn, bro, that lasted 5 days, bro. Like, what?
Yeah. I mean, coming from, unfortunately, this is where like the double standards come in from a guy's standpoint. If Quavo's, let's say he was with Amber Rose or something next, like most dudes would be like, oh damn, you got you another bad one or whatever. Some of them would be like, oh, you got a hoe, but a lot of dudes would be like, oh man, like haha, that's City Boys are up 500 points. City Boys. But what, like Saweetie, if she gets in a relationship, like within a few months, they're gonna call her a hoe. So
yeah, that's fair.
I think it is, and it's a lot of it does have to do with the fact that when the guys get in these relationships with the girls, they just want the pussy and maybe the status and excitement of having like this model or whatever. Whereas a lot of these rapper chicks, rap about like making the man pay for this and pay for that. So when they leave, it's like, damn, you just did that for money. You're basically a hooker. So I think that perception would kind of cloud a lot of people's judgment of her. If I saw, her in the club with another dude like 2 days after, I'd just be like, damn, this industry's foul. Like, nobody can be trusted, really.
Yeah, and it's just that's probably more what it's like a reflection of. Like, it's tough. Like, if, for example, they were like both doctors and they got divorced or whatever, right? And then she just started dating like a fucking lawyer. Like, it's probably different circles, so you're not bumping into them again, but it sucks how like you're in that industry now And inevitably she's gonna be dating another rapper or someone in the music industry. So it's gonna be all over the gram. It's gonna be all over your face. I guess like it's just like, I guess it's the gift or the curse when you're a celebrity and you date a celebrity. Like once it's over, the likeliness is that they're gonna date someone of your similar status because like that's just the circle that they're in, you know?
Right. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, to each its own, I guess. Hopefully they'll both be happy with this taking place. But I would challenge these artists to be more selective about who they're choosing to get in relationships with, because like if you're gonna choose a player, expect player shit and don't get mad. If you really want that like goody two shoes dude, like Saweetie should be like seeking out Logic or some shit, like regular dudes, not the Quavos and the Futures and these motherfuckers who like clearly aren't ready to settle down. Like it's not common sense. I mean, it's common sense to behave that way if that's what you want, but of course nobody wants the what's right for them. They just want the cool, sexy, shiny object.
Yeah, no, you're right, man. But hopefully to our benefit, Audio Theory listeners and ourselves, like Quavo really hasn't had a good song in a couple of years. So maybe this leads to like some fire, like I know they're promoting the Culture 3 Migos album.
Oh man, that's
so maybe
conspiracy right there.
Right? I mean, they just broke up for that album to do better and they're going to be back together afterwards, right? So that's maybe we just broke the fucking code right now. So shout out to us on episode 66 if it's out for fucking finding it out. Honestly, dude, I mean, it's pretty much everything. I mean, we could talk about Biden busting his ass going up and down the stairs. I know the internet's fucking running with that, but it's like, I mean, dude, I feel like the camera's all on these people all the time. So like, dude, I'm sure I can find 10 videos of fucking Obama busting his ass, but you know, it's the convenient thing, like, oh, the old man, we should never voted for this fucking old ass dude, blah, blah, blah. But honestly, if I even put a hashtag Biden on our Instagram post, this is not seeing the light of day. So like, that's all I'm saying about this. That's all I'm saying about this. Is there anything else you want to bring up before we jump into some heat of the week?
Nah, let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, episode 66. It's up. Heat of the week. My Jim, what's been on the playlist nonstop recently?
So this past weekend, I was kind of just feeling nostalgic. One night, came across this video. I actually sent it to you, and I was like, I'm coming to Florida to listen to this track when we become enlightened, and that just brought me down a rabbit hole of listening to this artist stuff. His name is Home, and he's a synthwave artist. So for those who don't know what it is, it's basically like 80s influenced electronic music, heavy synth sounding, and kind of reminiscent of like video game music or shit you would have heard in the 80s. So it obviously has an old school feel to it and evokes like a nostalgic feeling. So I went through his catalog and just kind of fell in love with it. I think he's actually from Miami, and I think during the 80s, like Miami was the
cocaine capital.
Yeah, cocaine capital, pivotal focus of like the US, neon lights and palm trees and all that shit.
Yeah.
Convertibles. So maybe he was influenced by that. Not the cocaine, but the Miami vibe, and just created this synthwave music, and it's just really relaxing to me. So I've been listening to that all week, went through his catalog, kind of fell in love with it. And
is it all on YouTube though, or is it available like on Spotify and Apple?
It's on YouTube and Spotify. So the track specifically, if you're a listener and haven't heard anything, the song's called Resonance, and it's kind of like a viral synthwave hit because there's videos of people breaking down why it's nostalgic and shit. Like it's the go-to track. There's like a thread of 1 million people like commenting how it makes them nostalgic, they're crying and all kinds of shit. This one track called Resonance by Home. So I'll definitely listen to that if you have a chance. That's how I was introduced to him. It's just like a super peaceful song that if the world was coming to an end, like that's the song you would choose.
Play it.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, I'll definitely check that out again, and hopefully I can find it on Apple to add it to the playlist. But that's dope. I'll definitely next time I'm vibing at the crib and being enlightened, I'll make that the theme music. So for me, it's going to be one main heat of the week, but one honorable mention. So my heat of the week is going to be off the Justin Bieber album. Dude, thoroughly enjoyed this album, Justice. It's going to be the track with Kid Laroi, Unstable. Very mellow, melodic. I mean, like they're both like a deeper voice. And it's dope, man. First of all, shout out to Kid Laroi and his producer, Han, for like just like the idea of like how, dude, that I feel like there's no such thing as overnight fame, but bro, they're fucking blowing up quick, bro. So like whoever's like fanning that flame, yo, shout out to them because like yo, that's a massive look right there. But the song's fire. I mean, Justin Bieber on the entire album does his thing. But I think maybe just like the idea of like the Kid Laroi being this new up and coming artist, I feel like he maybe felt like he needs to up his game. And they both go back and forth in a very cool way. So Unstable off the Justin Bieber album, Justice, a go-to, I would say top 3 song on an album that has 16 tracks for sure.
Nice.
But another honorable mention, bro, I've been running a lot again, trying to get back in shape. I know it's always beach season in Florida, but like just trying to be in the best shape of my life right now. Dude, this song came out fucking 3 years ago. Pop Smoke Dior, okay? So obviously this song is overplayed, like they fucking put on the album, even though it was on like his mixtapes. But bro, I don't know what it was, like the moment I was in my run, but like the beginning of that song, like I can feel myself just like, yo,
the violence,
we're good. Yo, yeah. I don't know what it is, bro, but like just if anyone has like a workout playlist, add Pop Smoke Dior to it if you don't already have it, and you'll run another fucking 5 miles and not even think about it, bro. Like, yo, like I am telling you, the moment that song comes up and he's like, okay, like bro, like the goosebumps,
it's like he's your personal trainer.
It's not, that's Gotti, that's okay. But he's like, yo, the intro, bro, he's just like there's something where you can see him just doing this with the beat, like, and I'm just like, bro, I felt that way in those fucking strides. I was like, bro, this song has power. And I've heard that song fucking like 1,000 times in the last like 2 years, right? So honorable mention, Pop Smoke Dior, heat of the week every week if you're fucking working out or running for sure.
Yeah, it sucks that he's gone. I was just listening to that Boogie song from the Boogie soundtrack, AP, yeah, fire. Fire. And even though like my girlfriend or fiance now, let me correct myself, mentioned that all his shit sounds the same, like, and I get it, like a lot of it does sound the same, but it's all fire to me.
It's all fire. Yeah, 100%. It's like if it ain't broke, why fix it? But to that effect, I'm not gonna go on Sarah because she doesn't really listen to music like us. But like I think why people fell in love with Pop Smoke even more after his passing is that album, Shoot for the Moon, Aim for the Stars, did not sound like the fucking mixtapes. You know what I mean? Like it was like him singing, trying different beats. So that's why I think everyone was like, fuck, bro. Like he wasn't a one-trick pony. He can actually do very artistic stuff on songs. Right. So that's why, at least for me personally, bro, I was like, damn, bro, like he was really like an artist trying to figure out his own sound. So for me personally, that's why I don't agree all sounds the same, because like there was a very drastic shift on the actual album when it came out.
That's a good point.
Yeah. All right, bro. So that's another episode in the books. Appreciate you as always. Let the people know where they can find us and what we got coming out next.
Yes, sir. Check us out on audio-theory.com. From there, you can listen/watch us on all major streaming platforms. We also have the Spotify and Apple Music playlist, so you can find our Heat of the Week selections on there. We bang out episodes every single week, so be sure to always check back. Again, we do interviews as well now, so if you're an upcoming artist or creative and have something special story that you want to bring to the forefront of our audience, definitely reach out and let's see if we can work together. But other than that, stay COVID safe, and check back in, share with a friend, donate, do all that you can to help support us.
Subscribe, baby. Those numbers getting a little bit stale, so we need you guys to pump it up. All right, my dude. Episode 66 in the book. It's up. I appreciate you, dog. Love you, and talk soon.
Love you too. Peace.